Okay, let's go. Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight we are going to be taking a look at the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends 1977 Spider-Man. Yes, this is the 1977 Spider-Man, not to be confused with the Japanese Spider-Man, although they do have similar designs. But this is from the 1977 movie/TV show that once aired, and I say movie/TV show because the pilot of the TV show was released in certain countries as a movie, but here it was just a pilot for a television show that lasted like 13 episodes and didn't really have any major Spider-Man villains, and it was kind of weird. But it was kind of Spider-Man's first live-action debut, and it was pretty neat. And Marvel Legends decided to give us a toy of it, and I did watch this a little bit growing up, and it was kind of cool, so I thought the figure would be worth having. Alright, so taking a look at this packaging, it is in a nice square Marvel Legends box. You have Marvel Legends here, you got warnings, you have 77 Spider-Man, you can see Spider-Man in there with his webbing and some alternate hands and some other stuff. You have 4+, and you have a cool Spider-Man logo here with lots of colors. You have Hasbro on the top of the box, you have that cool Spider-Man colorful logo again. On the left side of the box, Marvel Legends Series 77 Spider-Man, a nice picture from the show right there. Coming to the right side, a nicer picture of the show, which has Spider-Man almost in his full stature. You have Marvel Legends series down here at the bottom. On the bottom of the packaging itself, you do have some credits for the box and a barcode. And, well, technically this is a Walmart exclusive, so if you want to figure out where you can get this thing, it's going to be Walmart, okay? And maybe that barcode will help you because it'll basically tell you, go to Walmart. On the back of the packaging, you have a mock-up of the 1977 movie poster using the toy as Spider-Man. That was really cool. And you have Marvel Legends series inspired by the 1977 Spider-Man movie. And then you have Spider-Man and some more credits for the box. And there you go. That is pretty neat packaging, but I don't want to see this movie Spidey in the packaging. I know you don't. So let's get him out and see how cinematic he can be. And here we have the 1977 Spider-Man out of the packaging, and out of the packaging he stands approximately 6.5 inches tall. He comes with some neat web effects and some alternate hands, all of which we'll take a look at in just a moment. But first off, I want to take a look at this hip web slinger himself. And coming in real close on Spider-Man's head sculpt. Now this is a very unique Spider-Man head sculpt. Obviously, the eyes are gonna grab your attention because in 77 they had these little metal screens, I guess, for his eyes, and they had a lot of little holes in them. They didn't have the technology then like they do today, where just to cut the eye holes out and insert them with digital effects. But anyway, the eyes on this thing is really unique, and they are bordered in a nice black, and then you have your standard red and cobweb design for the rest of his head. I like that. I like the little centerpiece right here. Coming to the side, no real detail in there, nor should there be, because it's just basically a mask that goes over his head. And as we scroll out just a little bit, we could take a look and see he is in his traditional red and blue outfit. Now, there is a little bit of misaligning when it comes to the cobwebs right here around his neck. And I'll scroll back in so you can see that. As you can see, they're kind of comes down here, and then it doesn't match up with that, but it's not too noticeable, I guess, unless you're doing a review and you want to point it out. And I don't know if they're all like that or if it's just my copy. But anyway, coming down, you do have the regular red and cobwebs going around the top of the shoulders and then the bottom of the shoulders. And on the sides, you have the blue, big black spider right here on his chest. And that is really neat. Coming down, now this is another difference in the figures. Most Spider-Man do not have cool little belts, but he does. He has a nice red belt, and that, I believe, is supposed to be his face right there, done in a nice clear plastic. And then you have a darker red for the main part of the belt. I think I would have liked that better if it was like the same color, but it does set it apart a little bit. And it is a single piece. And around the sides, you do have different web cartridges that are molded in there, and that is really neat. So you can see that. And that will be his little spider belt. Zooming back out, the next big difference is going to be on his right wrist. You have some web cartridges that are on the outside. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can get a better focus on that. So yeah, I guess he doesn't shoot with his left hand because all of his web cartridges are on his right hand. So I can't remember in the show if he did or not. And he is out of the package with some nice fisty hands, and that is really neat. Now, if we scroll down just below his belt, we'll notice that if you move the belt up, there is this slight little red portion that comes on his waist that is screen accurate, but you can actually put the belt down and it will cover it for the most part if you don't like seeing it. Coming down, just have your standard blue legs with some nice red cobwebby boots. I like that. On the bottom of the figure, you do get some peg holes and some copyright detail. That is not too bad. And coming to the back of the figure, you have a neat little spider right here with some legs sticking out to the side, and you do have a hole here. I think that's just basically because this was a reuse from another Spider-Man, because I don't think there's anything that can actually go in there. So yeah, and that is going to be what your 1977 Spider-Man looks like. So he's kind of unique in his certain ways, and he does definitely resemble the one from the TV show / movie. All right, moving on. And for articulation, now I will always recommend once you get a new figure, go ahead and hit it with a hairdryer for about 30 seconds. That heat will loosen up the joints and make them easier to move. So with that being said, starting with the head, Spider-Man's head can go around 360 degrees. It is on a hinge, so it can hinge down a long way, and it can hinge up a little bit. So that is really neat. You do get a little wiggle waggle in there. I like that. Coming to the shoulders, shoulders can come up from the body and then back down. They can go around 360 degrees, and that comes down to a nice bicep rotation, 360 degrees there. Coming to a double hinged elbow bend. Yeah, double hinge. I like it. I like the double hinges. A lot of good range. Coming down, you do not have a forearm rotation, but you do have a nice fist, and the fist will go around 360 degrees, and it is hinged, so you can hinge it in and out, up, and down if you're so inclined. Coming to the right arm, you do have the little web cartridge thing, and it is a single piece, and it can go around 360 degrees if you're so inclined, or you could just pop the hand off and take that off if you don't like it. So, it's neat and it's unique to the figure, so I think I'll leave it on there. So it doesn't really bother me much. All right, coming to the center of the body, you do have a nice ab crunch here, which goes down and then back up, and it's really nice, nice and smooth. And you also get the 360 degrees of waist articulation. Definitely love when they give us both of those. And that will bring us down to the belt. And the belt is a single piece, and it can go around 360 degrees. If you don't want a weird little spider face and you just want a whole belt of web cartridges, you can do that. But there's nothing wrong with that. All right. coming to the legs. Legs can come up a long way, which you should have, because Spider-Man is always going to be an agile figure, and you want to get him in all these dynamic poses. To the back, though, it doesn't go too far because the butt gets in the way, but you do get a little more out to the side, so that is cool. You do have 360-degree thigh rotation, coming down to a nice double hinged knee bend. Definitely like that. Kick yourself in the butt. And that's pretty much it until you actually get down to the foot, because there is no boot cut or anything. And the foot can hinge forward or up, and then it can hinge down, and then you do get 360-degree rock around the world. Definitely like that. That is pretty cool. So yeah, that is going to be your Spider articulation. A lot of good stuff here, and I think giving him the double joints and then both the ab crunch and the waist is always important when you have a Spider-Man articulation. All right, moving on. And for accessories, Spider-Man comes with this nice set of alternate hands from his fisted hands. They are just done in kind of an open pose. You got some nice cobweb design on there, and they're nice and red. You can kind of have him like shooting web from here, I guess. In the show, it was kind of weird. You know, he'd put his hand out like this and this big huge net would just appear, and then there was that one time he would like get to the edge of a building and then shoot a stream. But I don't know, it was kind of weird how he shot his webs in the movie, and he didn't do it very often. Of course, he didn't do much as Spider-Man. He just hunched around and barely talked. So anyway, there you are with these alternate hands, and they're different. They look okay, I guess. Hooray for alternate hands. And for accessories, Spider-Man comes with these two little web things. I'm not really sure what you do with these. They're done in a nice soft plastic and got some neat texture to it. But for the most part, they can't really stick anywhere. And I guess what you would do is, like I said, when Spider-Man, zoom out a little bit, was on the screen, he'd kind of hold his hand like this, and then the webs would just shoot out the bottom of his hand and just basically cover the enemies like it was a net, and they would just lay on top of them like that. And they'd get all stuck and couldn't move. But that's what you could do with these. I guess if you move his hands, he can kind of attach his fingers in there, and kind of looks like he's shooting them like that. So that's something that you might be able to do with it. But it's a unique, different kind of web thing. And for his final web effect, he comes with this white string. So not much you could do with this. This is where, I mean, you can, I guess, tie it to one end of his hand, wrap it around there, and use it kind of like a swinging thing. So that is something that is possible, and it's not too bad. Let's see if you could actually share the port with the hand. So if we get that in there, and then we shove the hand back in here, let's see if this works. Maybe, yeah, okay, so yeah, that will stick in there, and then you could have him swinging around. So yeah, okay, there's a couple things that you could do with this string, and yeah, like the inclusion of it. Okay, and that is going to be Spider-Man's accessories. Moving on. And for comparison, here you have the 1977 Spider-Man with the retro-carded Spider-Man, the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, the Spider-Man the Animated Series Spider-Man from the VHS 2-pack with him versus the Vulture, and you have the Secret Wars black-suited Spider-Man. And with the exception of the Secret Wars black-suited Spider-Man, all these Spider-Mans have your traditional Spider-Man costume, yet they are unique in different ways. And I like that uniqueness, and I think they're all worth having because they all have a special place, whether it be a specific story, or a classic toy, or a classic TV show. These are all some really cool looking Spider-Man. And if you're interested in that unmasked look, there are two looks that I would like to look at. There was the comic book version here, and that looks okay. But this figure is coming from 1977, and the Nicholas Hammond actor portraying Spider-Man, and I think the animated series head looks a lot like Nicholas Hammond as it is, and I think this is a really cool look for the Spider-Man if you're going for an unmasked look. But it's your figure, your opinion is king, so whichever one you want to use is up to you. Alright, and this has been your comparisons. Moving on. And this has been the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends 1977 Spider-Man from the very old TV show / movie that many people don't remember. But I do remember him, and this is a very nostalgic figure for me, and I just had to pick him up, even though he looks very, very strange comparatively to the other Spider-Man. But I think that's what gives him his uniqueness, with those weird eyes and the belt and the wrist web cartridges. So I am very happy with this figure. Sculpt and mold are dead on for the TV show, and I love the paint. I mean, it's a Spider-Man figure. You can take off the belt, you can take off the wrist cartridges, and you'll have a regular Spider-Man figure with some goggly looking eyes. The colors are good. I do like the articulation. The only thing that you could probably add to this guy would be some like butterfly joints in the shoulders and some toe joints, but for the most part he can bend and twist and move however you want him, and mostly all you need to have him do is hunch around and make him look through his legs which is mostly what he did in the movie. As for accessories, he has alternate hands, which are okay, and does look like they're sculpted to where he would throw his webs out, and his webs that he has are okay, I guess. Wouldn't mind if they could have attached somewhere, but it is what it is, and it kind of looks like the TV show, especially with the long white string. It's kind of cheesy, but it was the 70s, and they did the best practical effects that they could for the time. And yeah, that's pretty much this guy. If you're looking for him, Walmart exclusive, he will go for about $28 to $30. It's kind of pricey, but is that what we're paying for figures these days, or is that because he's an exclusive? I don't know. It's just going that way when it comes to action figures. So if you are looking for him, happy hunting. And that's it, guys. That is the video. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends 1977 Spider-Man. Hope you have a great night, and until next time, keep playing.
Thank you.